I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I am Surbhi Saxena and let's start with some introduction. BPP Publications, founded in 1958, is the Asia's largest publisher of computer and information technology books and has 62 years of excellence in the publishing industry. We have published over 5,000 titles from the world-class authors and sold over 90 million books worldwide. BPP publishes quality print books, electronic books, and video courses on all the latest trending technologies, including programming, data analysis, web development, and many more. BPP content makes it more convenient for every student to learn and understand from various industry experts. The mission is to facilitate the technical learning for every audience by providing high quality content at an affordable price to break down any barriers in computer and IT education. We have been continuously working towards this and have successfully educated a whole generation of IT professionals and programmers. BPP titles are prescribed as standard courseware at most of the leading school, colleges, universities, and training institutes. We are using all the digital channels to strengthen our connection with the audience smoothly. Today, with BPP Publications, we are pleased to present a webinar on getting started with Angular. Angular is a widely used web application created by Google. The idea behind this webinar is that every IT student, professional, and developers are able to have more understanding and learning about Angular in a much better way. So we would like to introduce the speaker of the day, Mr. Dhananjay Kumar, who is an author of the best-selling book on Angular Essentials by BPB Publications. Mr. Dhananjay is an independent trainer, a well-known speaker, and a Google developer expert. He is a 10-time winner of the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional Award for his technical expertise and sharing knowledge with others. He is a founder of Geek 97, which trains developers on various technologies so that they are ready for the job, and organizes India's largest Angular conference, NG India. So all please get ready for the great session. And Dhananjay, please share your knowledge. And I hand over to you, Dhananjay. Please start. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Surbhi, for such a good introduction. Before I move ahead, I just want to do a little bit of checking. First, whether my voice is audible clearly to everyone or not. Can you able to hear me very clearly?
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
are able to.
Great. And can you see my screen right now? On my screen, you should able to see a BPB website and my book listed. So can you see that screen? Yes.
Yes.
All right then. So today we are going to learn about Angular. Now, I request everyone that please don't take the presentation in between. So someone has. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? My screen visible to you, everyone? Can you see something like this? Angular website?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Can you see that Angular CLI, ng, new, ng, generate,
Yes.
those things on your
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Some of them are saying no. So let me again, let me try to say it again. It is visible. Okay. Okay, Ankita, can you confirm me whether you are able to see my screen?
So, screen is visible, but in a short tile. I mean, it is not taking up the whole space.
Okay, let me stop sharing and then try to say it again. So what is happening is that when I'm sharing and if someone else is starting sharing their screen, then it is like both his screen is now shared. So that's why it was taking less space on the screen. Now it should be fine.
It is now screen now visible, sir.
Okay, and please, I request each one of you that please do not click on start presenting button. Otherwise, you will become the presenter and you will interrupt the whole presentation. So please I know that you are not doing it. I mean, you might be doing it by mistake. So just don't do that. Okay. So here today we are going to learn about Angular, and our topic is getting started with Angular. My name is Dhananjay Kumar, and as Survi ma'am mentioned, I'm a Google developer expert in Angular. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and an author with BPB on a book called Angular Essential. So today, the whole agenda is that we do not have any PPT and we'll try to learn everything through the code. So since all of us are engineer and we are here to learn about something which is related to coding, so I have on purpose not kept any PPT, and we would try to learn as much as possible through the code and by building something. All right. So today at the end of the talk, if everything goes fine, we should able to create a application, something like this, which is on your screen. You see that it is a product app. It is showing, it is displaying some product. When I click on this show image, it is displaying image of the products, and that caption has been changed to hide image. I can go and search a particular product and it is searching there and all things. Now it may look like a lot of complexity here when you look at this application, but at the end of the day, end of this session, you realize that using Angular it is very simple to make. So we'll try to create this application, and I'll share source code with you as well. But before we move ahead, what is Angular? So Angular is a technology by Google. Google has created a framework called Angular. Now, framework means it is every framework has a specific purpose, and Angular is a framework which is created to create a web application. You can create a web application using Angular. All right, and it is created by Google, and it is a JavaScript TypeScript based framework. Now, to start with the Angular, what you need to do, the first thing what you need to do if you are very beginner in Angular, step one, you need to install Node.js on your machine. So once you have installed Node.js, and to install Node.js, you can go to nodejs.org.download, and from here you can download Node.js version depending on the operating system of your machine. Once Node.js is installed, then you need to install Angular CLI on your machine. To install Angular CLI, you have to run the command npm install. G means you are installing that globally on your system, means whatever you install with -G, that would be available everywhere in your system, and then you can install Angular CLI like this. And if you want to learn more about Angular CLI, you can go to cli.angular.io, and here you can learn more about it. Now, what is the Angular CLI? It helps us to build Angular application. CLI stands for command line interface. So step one, you have to install Node.js. Step two, you have to install Angular CLI. Once these two things are successfully installed, so let us say that if you in your machine you have Angular CLI, you have to check whether Node.js is installed or not. So you run a command, as you see on my screen, node v and node version, and it will give you some version. If you are getting that version, it means Node.js is installed on your machine. If it is not getting you returning any version, means Node.js is not installed on your machine. So by that you can check and cross-check and install Node.js. Once Node.js is installed, you need to install Angular CLI. On my machine, Angular CLI is already installed. To check whether Angular CLI is installed or not, I will run the command ng. In the short, we call Angular ng, and here we'll say v. So when I run that command, you see that it is showing me something. And here you see that when I run ng version, it shows me that Angular CLI is installed and the version and all that. If you don't get this output, it means Angular CLI is not installed on your machine and you got to reinstall it. All right. So once step 1 and step 2 is done, step 3, what you need to do, now you are good to go and create an Angular application. So to create an Angular application, once step 1 and step 2 is done, you need to run a command called ng new. You want to create a new application, so you navigate on your command prompt, and it is on Windows. On the Mac it is slightly different, but almost it is same. So once it is ng new, and here you can give your app name, whatever app name you want to give. So here let me go and run that. So let's see, I am here and I want to create a new app. So I'll say ng new BPB app. All right. So this will create a new Angular application. That's it. And this command will only work if Node.js and Angular CLI is installed on your machine. Now it is asking you that whether you want to add routing in your application. Say, yes, I want to add routing. Now what is routing? That when you click on a link, it will go to different page. That is called routing. Like, so you added that. Then it would ask you that whether you want to use CSS, SCSS, list. There are different kind of different types and different methods by way you can implement a style in your application. You can choose one of them. Angular supports all these options. I'm going to choose CSS. So I selected CSS. Now it will take some time to create application. It will take, like, depending on the internet speed, it will create application for you. So here I have already created that, and you see that I'm already created application called product app. And in this application, when I say dir, you can see these many files has been created. All right, we don't have to get into these files, just I'm showing you that how it got created. Now you can open that project in any IDE. One more thing you can do as a step 0 is install Visual Studio Code. That is very popular IDE for Angular and React development. So here we install Visual Studio Code. I have already installed Visual Studio Code and I have opened that project right here. So you see, when you create an application, it will, and then I open that, it will have a lot of files, but the main folder you need to focus on is the app folder. And inside app folder, you have app.component.ts. Now I'm coming to that, what is app.component.ts in a while. Then app.component.html, app.component.css, and all. All right. So here we have, you see, it says that you have successfully created that application. So what I'm going to do, I'll close this and then open this one where on which we are working. All right. So here we are now. To run the application, what you need to do, you need to run the command ng serve. Okay. So after ng new app, what you do is step 3a, run the command ng serve, just to test whether everything you did is correct or not. So when you run ng serve, as I'm running here, it will take some time to compile your Angular application and then host your Angular application by default on localhost :4200. All right. So when you run this command, you have created a default Angular application, and that default Angular application is hosted on localhost, which is a web server of your development machine, and the port 4200. So here we are. It is taking some time to compile. So let us wait for it to compile. All right, so here you got the message compiled successfully. Now you can go and type localhost 4200. By default it is there, and run this. You see, this is the default Angular application being scaffolded by running ng-new command. So successfully you created a Angular application even without writing a simple line of code. Of course, you have to go and write your own business application, but this is what an Angular application is. All right, this is a default scaffolded. We can go and change it. When you run ng-new, Angular does that to you. Now, take a step back and understand one thing. This is an Angular website. This is a website created in Angular. So whatever you see on Angular website, like let us say whatever is in front of you as a user, the user interface, that UI, that is called component in Angular. So in Angular, component is very important concepts. Component is kind of UI, user interface of Angular. Whatever you create in Angular, which has a HTML attached to it, which would be shown, which your user will see, is called component. All right. So here, if it is, so let us say this is an Angular website, right? What we see in front of us is an Angular component. In the same way, what we see in front of us is an Angular component. So what Angular has done, by default, it has created a component for you. Can you see this? app.component.ts. Now, what is a component? As we talked, so component is kind of your UI, all right? What your users see. And your component is combination of HTML plus TypeScript. In Angular, we use TypeScript, which is superset of JavaScript, and CSS. All right, and this HTML is also called template. So a component is a combination of HTML, TS, and CSS. So by default, what Angular has done, Angular, when you run this command ng-new, Angular has created a component called app component in your application. And if you look at here for app.component.ts, app.component.html, and app.component.cs. Let me go and so here you see that CSS, HTML, and TS is created for you. All right, by default, one component being created. Now go to the HTML. We don't want what is there by default. So we'll go and delete everything. All right, and we just want BPB app. Let's say that just we want BPB app, and this BPB app is inside a container. All right. And here we have taken this BPB app and we are saying I'm just putting some information here, some styling here, and then I can say HR. All right. So now what we have done, we have updated this HTML of our app component. As soon as you save it, automatically you don't have to go and rerun it. Your application will recompile. Angular will take care of that. And then when you go back to your running application, you can see that now we got this BPB app. So right now your Angular application has only one component and we are doing changing in that component. Keep in mind, in a real application, there would be 100, 500, thousands, 2,000 components. And those components will communicate to each other. You will navigate from one component to another component using routing and all that. Today, we would not cover that. Here, we are just working with one component, but just to give you an idea that in real Angular application, there would be more than one component. And always, if you have more than one component, then there would be one component known as a main component. All right. So here we have changed something in this, and this is called you see, it is being reflected. All right, so let's go here. And you know that component is a kind of UI. It has HTML, TS, and CSS. So if you look at app.component.ts, here you can see it has all the information. It says that this component can be used with this name, app root. HTML of this component is inside this file, app.component.html, and a style of this file is inside this file, app.component.css. Now here you can go and write any information you want. So let's say that in the title we say BPB app. All right, so that data is here, and also we have one subtitle, and let's say that subtitle is best books. All right, so these are the data in our component class. Now we need to display this on the component. So we'll go to the HTML, and right now, you see that we are hard coding it. We do not want to hard code, and instead of that, we want to use this title. So take this title and put it here. All right, and then to display that, you have to put it inside two curly braces, and this syntax is called interpolation in data binding. Then again, you can take this, and let's say that I'm calling it H3, and here we want to display subtitle. So take this and put it here, subtitle. All right, now you see that data is being displayed from app, BPB apps, and best books is being displayed there. All right, so here what you saw that we had data in the TypeScript class. What you just saw that we had data in the TypeScript class, and we displayed that data in the template or in the HTML. So this process of displaying data from TypeScript class in a template is called data binding in Angular. All right, so from TypeScript, when you display data from TypeScript to the template, which we just did. So when you display data from TypeScript to template, that is known as interpolation, and the syntax is double curly braces. All right, so that is known as interpolation, and syntax is double curly braces. So if you have any data here in your TypeScript and you want to display that, so let's say I have a data here, height 700, 799. I want to display that in the component. I'll go to HTML and I'll just say, I'll use interpolation, means double curly braces, and inside that put that property name. All right, and this should be displayed, and this is called interpolation. Here you see that we have 799 displayed. All right, so that is first type of data binding. In that, data goes from TypeScript to template. The second type of data binding is called, again, its data goes from TypeScript to template. All right, but in this type of data binding, which is in HTML, what interpolation does, it displays the data, right? It displays data. However, in this, what will you do? You will use it is called property binding, and the syntax is a square bracket. Here, what it does, that it changes property of the elements. All right, here it displays the data, here it changes properties of the element. What does it mean? And this is called property binding. That is the second type of binding. So again, what will I do? What I mean by that? So you see that if you use height like this, interpolation, that height is being displayed like this. But what if here I have a button? So button is an element, right? Button is an element on my HTML, and that button is called click me. Now what I want, that height of this button, it means property. Height is a property of the button. So what I want, that height of this button, which I can access, that property is style.height.px, and I want height of this button should set to the height from here. All right, so now we are not displaying it. We are using a square bracket, means property binding, means we will set the property. In this case, we are setting that height property with the height property of the TypeScript class, which is right here. And let's give some value here, 500. All right. So now you see that here we are using a square bracket, means we'll not display that, we'll set the height. And right now here, if you come, you see that you have a button with the height 500 pixel set. So the second type of data binding is called property binding. The third type of data binding is, in that what you do, you have a TypeScript, but in that the arrow is different and the information flows from HTML to TypeScript. So let us say that your user, you have a button here now, you have a button here, and your user clicks on this and you want to do something on top of that. So what will you do? In that, user is performing some operation in the HTML, and you want to pass information, you want to capture that events which is being performed by user in the TypeScript class. So you will do something called event binding. Okay, and the syntax for event binding is this square bracket. Okay, what is that? Captures event of HTML in class. All right, so here it is a small bracket. So let's go back here and we'll say that, hey, when user clicks on this, so click, I want to, let us say, call a function called foo. So here I am just calling on the click, call a function foo. So we have taken this. Now in the component, we'll go and create a function foo. All right, and let's say alert hello BPB. All right, so whenever user clicks on this button, using the event binding, which is the small bracket, we are calling the function foo, and in the function foo we are doing some alert. In component, you should never have alert, but just to show, just to explain you concept, I have put it there. And now if I click on this, you see that I'm getting hello BPB. So that is called third type of data binding. All right, so that is called, now you understood interpolation, which is displaying the data. Property binding means changing the property, and third is called event binding, which is to capture events, capture the operation which user is performing on the HTML in the TypeScript. It means user can click, user can drag, user can drop, user can select, user can unselect, user can perform these operations. So let us say when user is dragging, you need to call a function. In that case, you will use event binding. All right, let us say that you have a data like height, width, margin, and you want to set height of image or width of image or margin of image. You'll use property binding. Let us say you need to display the data, only you have to display the data, then you'll use interpolation. So these are three types of binding in Angular, and these are very fundamental, and this is the first thing you always need to know. So when you go through my book, this is the first chapter we do, like the bindings. Now, if you look at these bindings, all these bindings has arrow at one side only. Like interpolation goes from TH to template, property binding goes from TH to template, and event binding goes from template to TH. There's one more scenario you could have where this arrow should be in both directions. Like if you perform something on TypeScript, it should affect your HTML, and if you perform something in HTML, you should able to capture that in TypeScript, and that you can do using two-way data binding. Okay, and the syntax for two-way data binding is a square bracket, and then a small bracket, and inside that ng model. That is called two-way data binding. What I mean by that, let me show you. So I'm here, and first let me go to this module, and here, so like all of you might be doing language C and C++ or Java. If you need to use something external, first you include that, right? If you want to use something from math.h, you need to include that. In same way, I want to use a two-way data binding, that ng model syntax, and that is part of the forms module. So I take that from here. Angular forms. And then I will, oh no, I have to take it not here, but here. So here I'll say that, hey, import forms module and then import forms module. All right, like how you do in C. So once I have done that, I'll go to app.component.ts, and let's say that I have here name, and that name is string. Okay, so I created a property name is string. Then in HTML, I'm saying input type text. Okay, and here I can say, I can enable the two-way data binding. ng model is equal to name, and below we are saying h3 hello name. All right, so what I have done, I'm creating an input element, then using two-way data binding, I'm binding it to the name property, and then in below I'm using interpolation to display that. So right now we are here, we have this name. As soon as I start typing, you see that in the bottom, the two-way data binding is enabled, and what you do, you are able to get that. So these are the 4 types of binding in the Angular, and today we are going a little bit fast, and some of the topics which I'm not explaining you because we have only 50 minutes. Of course, you can request Ankita and Surbhi and BPB that we can do it further. So there are more things in this data binding which we can cover when we have more time. So if some of you already doing Angular, don't think that, hey, we are leaving certain things. If we are leaving certain things, we are only leaving to respect our time and achieve as much as possible today. Is it clear, everyone? But this is the fundamental you need to know. So now you learned data binding in Angular. You learned data binding in Angular means you have learned chapter 2 of that Angular Essential book. 1 chapter is completed. All right. Now let's go ahead and learn about that how we can display data in Angular. All right. How we can work with data. Let us say we need to display a product. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll get rid of everything which is here, or probably just I'll keep title and all, and here also let's just keep the title. All right, and then we'll go and start displaying data. We'll see that how we can work with data. All right, so what I'm going to do in the component here, I'm going to create a function called get products. All right, now here this function I'm writing it here in the hard coding it in class in the component, but in real app it would be in service and fetch data from API. But here we are just simulating the data. All right, so here I have created a function called get products, and let's say that a function get products, I'm just going to put some data in that. So here is the get products, and this get products function has some JSON data. You see that this is a JSON data it is returning. It has a JSON data, and it is returning which has product ID, product name, product code, release date, description, price, and all those things. So these are returned from here. Now this function returns a type called iProduct, like an interface called iProduct. So let us go ahead and create that interface in our application called iProduct.ts. So what I'll do in the application, let's go and say okay, so we are creating an interface which will represent our product. It's simple in object or how you do any object-oriented language. And then we'll say that iProduct, and here export interface iProduct. It has product ID, product name, and everything which we are returning from here, product ID, product name, and all. And then we can say that import it from iProduct. All right. Now, every component has a life cycle. Life cycle means when that component will initialize, when that component will destroy, when some data changes in that component, and those things. There are certain functions Angular has given you, which would be called. Now, we need to display this product, and we want to fetch this data when this app component gets initialized. So for that, what we'll do, implements on init. Now on init is a lifecycle hook. It is lifecycle hook means a function which would get called in a various stage of a Angular component. So this on init gets called when this Angular component gets initialized. So for that, what I have done, and we want this data to be part of our application when this Angular app is getting initialized. So for that, we are going to write code in ng on it. So here we'll say products, and type of product is iProduct, and by default it has an empty array, right? And here we can say in ng on init, this dot products is equal to this dot get products. All right, and then here we can just display that console dot log this dot products. So here we are fetching this data again, as I explained. Right now it is hard coded here, but in real application it will come from the API. So we are fetching that data when Angular component is getting initialized, and first checking whether we are able to fetch data correctly or not. So right now we are here, refresh it, and then press F12, and you see that it is showing us that we are able to fetch the data in the browser. Now only we need to display that data if you want to. So now we have that data. Now to display that data, like how we display data, this title and subtitle, we will use some form of interpolation. But now this is more than one data, so we need to display that in a table. All right, or you can display anywhere, but I'm displaying that in a table. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a table. Okay, and let's say that this table class is table. All right, and here we are saying, so every table has two sections. One is t head, all right, and then another is t body. And in t head you can have, so we want to display this. So here we are, and we'll say that t head show product code available price star rating. And right now when we run this application, you see our table is ready. Now only we need to display that data. So to display that data, what we need to do, in the t body we need to create a tr. All right, and in the tr we need to create td. So you'll display that inside a row and the columns. All right, so first let us say so first here is td we need to do. Now we want this row to be repeat for as many number of times we have the item in the array, right? If there are 5 items in the array, 5 products, we want 5 rows to be displayed. So here for this tr, we need to run a loop, and we can run that loop using something called directives. So in Angular, the other concept is directives. You learned about component. Now there is something called directives. Now directives, what they do, there are 3 types. The first is structure directives. What they do, they change the structure of your DOM element. So when you apply this star ng4, this is a structure directive. It will change the structure of tr, means it will repeat that as many times as we write. So here we'll say ng4 let, this is the syntax, let product of product in which array. We want that in products array. So we'll take it from here and say let this in the product. So this this row would repeat itself as many times as the item in the products array, and we are reading each item in product. Now to display that, what we need to do, we'll just use interpolation, and we'll say product dot, if you want to display product name, so take from here product name. All right, now when you go and run this, you see you are getting the product name. Now we need to write code for code, available, price, and star rating. And as you rightly know that now it should be very easy. You just have to repeat that TD and use the interpolation. So here we are saying that, hey, show me product name, product code, release date, price, and star rating. And here it is. You have data displayed in the table. All right, and you see that how easy it is. We have not done anything so far, just using one structure directive called star ng for. All right, what a structure directive does, it changes the structure of your DOM elements in the Angular app, in the Angular application. All right, so now you understood that you are able to display the data. However, you see, like if you look at here, for example, this price, we don't know whether this price is in dollar or whether it's in rupees. Also, we don't know, let's say that we want this, all the product names should be only in the uppercase. Right now it is in, it is like each word has the uppercase and all that. So you can change the output of this data using pipe. So in Angular, there is a concept called pipe. What pipe does, it transforms input data to a specific output without changing the data. So for example, what does it mean? It transforms input data to a specific output without changing the data. Now what we want here, let's say that we want here to display dollar with the price. But if you look at our data does not have dollar. Our data is plain. If we go and start adding dollar here, that would not look good, because then that is, see, it is giving you error and other stuff. But we don't want to change the data. We just want to display dollar with that. We just want to transform this data to a output. So for that, how we can do that? So Angular gives you, Angular has a concept called pipes. What it does, it transforms your input data to a specific output without changing the data. And Angular has given you many inbuilt pipe which you can use, and on the documentation you can learn about them, and you can create your custom pipe also if required. So there are many inbuilt pipes like date, currency, and all that. You can learn about that on Angular website in detail. So here I am, and I'll say that, hey, so to use pipe, you have to use this symbol, and we call it pipe symbol, and I'll say that, hey, this is a currency. So I just used currency, and then let's go there, and you see that dollar is added to your application, added to the output of the price. For products, let's say that we want everything in the uppercase. So we'll take from here and say uppercase. Now data is not changed, but everything here in the uppercase. So this is the purpose of pipe. All right, now we have to display the image as well, because our Angular, if you look at here, every application has an image. So to display image, what we will do right here, first go and add one more TD, and here we can say all right, and our image is image URL. So take it from here and put it here. All right, and then in the top, let's say here we'll add one more called image. All right, now if we run it, see, we have one more column image, but it is displaying that, because we are using interpolation. You know that what interpolation does, it just displays that, but we have to show the image. So here what we need to do, we need to use property binding with a image element. So let us do one thing here, get rid of this and use a img. Okay, and in that img, what we will say that, hey, the source of this img is, this product dot image URL. So you see that now we are using this square bracket, means property binding. Now this product dot image URL will not be displayed but set as the value of this src of image. Let's go and run this and see what is happening. And you see we are getting the image, but of course height, width and all are not correct. So let's go and set that. Again, you can set that using CSS, or you can set that using property binding as well. So for that, let's go to our application and here say that we have a property called image width equal to 50, and then we have image margin equal to 2. And let's go and now set that. Here we'll say, again we'll use property binding, and right now here we'll say that style dot width dot px is equal to, and we want to set that with this image width, so let's put it here. And then we will also set the margin, and the margin would be, here we'll say for the margin style dot margin dot px, and then set the margin, then the value of margin is image margin, and then we'll put it here. All right, so now when we run this, we should have that image there, and you see that now you are getting the image. So we are almost there. What we thought we would create, that we are able to achieve this part. We are able to display image and star rating and everything. Now if you look at this here, what is happening, we have a button. Sometimes when you visit a e-commerce website, you have buttons. Using that buttons, you can say, hey, either you want to see the image or you don't want to see the image. And you see that when we click on that, then the caption also changes. Right now it is show image, it is showing image. And then it's changed to hide image, then hide image. Now let us see that how we can implement that. So to implement that, what we need to do, instead of this image, we need a button, right? So what I'm going to do here, let's go, and instead of that image, let's create a button. So we'll say that, hey, get me a button. All right, and let's say that by default that button is show image, and set class btn and btn info. All right, so here we have show image now, and the button class all right, I'm trying to use button, and then with that class name btn info. All right, so here if we go and run this, you see that we have this button now. Now we need to implement the functionality of the button. So what we need to do, when we click on this button, we want to do something, means we need to use event binding. So let's say that when user click on this button, we want to call a function called toggle image. All right, and here we are going to create a function called toggle image. So take this function from here and put it in the component class. And then let's say that in the component class, what we are saying, in the component class, let's go and say that by default, there is a property called show image, which is false. When user clicks on that, we want to make it true or false or whatever. So here we'll say this dot show image is equal to whatever is the value, just negate that, this dot show image. All right, so here this dot show image, this dot show image, we are able to now toggle the value to true and false. And here what we are doing right now, let's go to app.component.html, and right now here we'll say that, okay, so we now need to display the image and or not display that image. So here we'll go and again use a structure directive called ngIf. We'll say that, hey, display this image only if the value of show image is true. All right, so take this from here and put it here. So we'll say that if value of show image is true, then only this image will be displayed. Otherwise, this will not be displayed. Now let's go back here and see. You see that now image is not displayed. But when we click on here, using the event binding, we are calling that toggle image function, and that toggle image function is now changing this. And here you see that we are able to change this now. This gone, and we are able to show that, right? Now only thing we need to do is that we need to change the caption. Now it is like show image always. We want to make it hide image or show image, as here show image and hide image. So how we can do that? So to do that, let's go here. Here we are saying show image. We'll not say show image. Here we'll use interpolation, and we'll say that if this value of show image is true, then use hide, or if that is false, then use show. All right, so here now you see that hide image, show image, hide image, show image, and you are getting you are here BP books, and see show image, hide image, show image, hide image, and you are getting that show image and hide image. Now see that you have achieved so much in Angular. It is kind of a complete e-commerce website where you are displaying a product and everything, and you have written so less code, just this much HTML and this much component class, only 6 lines of code. Keep in mind, this is data. I'm hard coding it. In real applications, it will come from the server. It will come from the API. So this is how easy it is to work with the Angular. Let us implement the last thing which we discussed. Like here, we can search a product. All right. So what happening here, that we have created a pipe. You remember the pipe which is changing the here, which change this to dollar and change it to the uppercase. So what pipe does, that it transforms your input to an output without changing the underlying data. So here also we need to create a custom pipe for that, and we need to make sure that we are able to filter this array, but we are not changing anything. We are not changing anything in the underlying data. So to do that, before that, I'll check time. Survi ma'am, how we are doing on the time?
We have 10 minutes, I think. Yes.
So
We'll close at 4.
Okay. So we have 10 minutes. So I can like after that 10 minutes we'll take questions, or these 10 minutes are for questions?
We can include questions in that.
Okay, so I guess let them ask questions in these 10 minutes, more than 3 questions if they have certain things, and if they are interested, we can again do this. Is it okay, everyone? Because give them some time to ask questions as well.
Yes.
Is it okay,
Sure.
Survi ma'am?
Yes. Absolutely fine.
So
I can see 3-4 questions.
yeah, so just one thing I'll summarize again. So you, to work with Angular, you first install Visual Studio Code, then install Node.js, then install Angular CLI, then ng-new, ng-serve. Today we talked about data binding and little bit of directives and pipes. This code will be available to my GitHub. Maybe you'll get into the email. So if you go to this place, whatever we have written today, if you go to this place, github.com debugmode.net, please note down here, and here I will upload that code such that you can download that and play that with that. So I'm putting that here, and also I'm putting that in the chat window such that you can copy and paste it from there. So you can take that code from there. Last but not least, just to give in beginning, I have not given my introduction. So I run a company called Geek97. And the whole purpose of Geek 97 is to help engineers like you to be job ready, because when you pass from the college, sometimes you really don't know that what are the skills required to get a good job into the market. So I run a company called Geek 97, and that company runs these conferences and teach students and teach corporates and everywhere. And you can see that here. You can see that what about our thing. So if you want to be in touch with me for any training need or anything, I'm putting my email address and a phone number there in the chat window. And if you are from a college, if you are a professor, if you want to, if you want me to do certain things for your students, is debugmodeoutlook.com, and then my number is 977098666. Please note it down. And just for my introduction, I'm a Microsoft MVP. So if you, let's say, go to Microsoft MVP website, you can see my profile here that I've been awarded this 10 times. Same way, if you go to Google Developer Expert. So I got this recognition from these two companies for my work. So here, let's say if you search Dhananjay, you should be able to see me on the. So I'm a Google Developer Expert in Angular. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and you can read about more about my site debugmode.net. And you can be in touch with me if you need anything. If you are a lecturer, we can help you with your students. If you are a student and directly want to connect with us, this is the email address, debugmode@outlook.com, and this, and yeah, these two are should be fine with you. So that's me. My name is Dhananjay Kumar, and I am the author of the best-selling Angular book on BPV, which is right here. And 3 of you would get a copy of this book today, right, Ankita ma'am? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I am done now. Over to you, Surbhi ma'am. I'll take questions if there is any, and again, I'll leave my email address and all on the screen. If someone is interested from the college, if you're a lecturer, you want me to do something for your students. If you're a student, you want directly to connect us, and we help you being job ready for the. We teach you such that you can be the job ready after your college. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhananjay, for the wonderful session. Great work, and was really very informative course. And you have a unique way of teaching, explaining the topics with the help of codes, that everyone must have really liked it.
Thank you.
And we would also like to thank all the participants for your cooperation and support. And we are sure that everyone had a great learning experience. We look forward to see you in the next webinar. And all the queries will be answered after the webinar through emails. So I think we should close the session now.
So how we are going to choose who 3 people are going to get books?
That can be discussed with you. We'll send you the questions.
Okay. Got it.
I think we have received few queries, about 5 to 6 I can see in the chat box. So that will be sent to you. You will answer them, and we'll submit them to the participants after the webinar.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
There's one question. Can I answer that? What can
Yes,
be services in Angular?
yes,
So
sure.
Pushti is asking what is the service in Angular, right? So Pushti's components are the UI thing, what you just see. Services are the shareable, if you have a code logic, if you have certain things which you want to share across multiple components, across multiple directives, you put that code inside the service. What service does, it is actually used to share the business logic and code around inside the whole Angular application. Usually Angular creates only one object of a service, and which is being shared, but you can go and configure that as well, and depending on that, Angular will decide how many objects has to be created. So can you see my screen? Pushti? If you go to my screen, Pushti, you see, go to this Geek97 YouTube channel, and I just created on 23rd May, I created almost 90 minutes video on simplifying dependency injection services and providers in Angular. You can read that step by step. This video is very popular. You can see 56 people have liked it, and you can see the comments that best explanation I have ever watched on dependency injection in Angular and all that. Never got such detailed insight. So service is a long topic, and I cannot answer it in 30 seconds. So I just trying to give you a overview. But here you can go and watch that if it makes sense to you. All right, but I have given you the link, and you can watch it like 90 minutes, the whole in the service. This video is created by me itself, and we have posted it on Geek97 YouTube channel. So Pushti gets one book for sure.
That's good.
Thank you, Pushti. How can undergraduate student get benefit from learning Angular? You will get job. So Sumanta, right now the front-end development is very popular. Doesn't matter what kind of company you are, you need to have the front end, right? And Angular and React, I'm not saying only Angular, you can learn React, you can learn Angular, whatever you know well, whether Angular or React. If you are master of either Angular or React, I'm very sure that you will get a lot of job opportunity. And I can understand, but as I talked about this NG India conference, which we did in February, and we had a couple of people from Bhutan who came to attend Angular conference in India. So it means they are working there on Angular. That's why they are here. So maybe if you have my email address, you just send me an email and I'll connect you with them. They are working in Bhutan on Angular, and probably you can do intern with them or something, and if that would help you. Okay, Sumanta? All right, then. I hope everyone it was useful. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you again in next webinar. Surbhi ma'am, over to you.
Yes, please. Thank you, all the participants. Thanks once again. Let's close the session. Thanks, Dhananjay. Okay. Thank you so much.